Hey, it's good to see everybody. Been a little bit, and that is because we had a baby. That's right. We are now in charge of another living human being. Pretty scary, right? Well, it all went down a couple of weeks ago. I get woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she says, I think my water broke, or I may have peed myself. I'm thinking when your water breaks, it's like somebody dumps a bucket of water on the floor, and it's like, apparently it is not like that at all. It just kind of keeps going. It's like a trickle that doesn't stop. I guess maybe some people, maybe it goes crazy. In our case, it did not. So we weren't sure. We were kind of on the fence of like whether or not, is it broken? Do we go to the hospital? Do we not go to the hospital right now? We decided to err on the side of caution. We're like, okay, forget it. Let's just go to the hospital. So it was very calm. It wasn't like a lot of craziness and rushing around. Now, let me tell you, everything I know about delivering babies and babies being born comes from a movie. I have no personal firsthand experience. When I was younger, I can remember when my brother was born, but I don't really remember the process. All I remember is they went to the hospital and they came back and there was a baby, and then we went to the hospital and checked them out. As far as what happened between going and the baby being out, was really a mystery to me. I'm thinking it's like the movies. Water breaks, people are screaming, you rush in the car, you go like a maniac to the hospital, you're wheeling them in a gurney down the hospital aisle, they're breathing, and it's all craziness.
Wake up your baby, guys!
And then within 10-15 minutes, the baby's out. No, it's nothing like any of that. Like I said, we calmly went to the hospital after the water break. So we got there, it was a calm check-in. They kind of asked us why we were there, and I looked at her and I went, well, I mean, obviously hugely pregnant. I don't know, what would be my guess would be baby. So we get sent into a room. The room is nice. I guess she picked all that stuff out ahead of time. There was a bed for me, like a lay down couch thing. There's obviously the hospital bed, and then a bathroom, shower. So it was actually a pretty cool setup. Apparently, they're not all like that. Apparently, sometimes you just sleeping in a chair and a recliner. I guess it can be miserable, but this wasn't that bad. So we get there, we get all checked in, we're in the room and everything. Not as action-packed as I originally thought. They let us know, yeah, the water did break. Yes, the baby is coming. And I'm thinking like, okay, what do we do? What do I do? Let's go. And like, well, you just hang out. Yeah, you just wait, they told us, we went in there at 3 o'clock. They were like, look, this baby probably isn't gonna be here until 2 a.m. the following, So I'm thinking, wow, I guess we're here. You just chill and wait. And she wasn't really experiencing any pain or anything like that with contractions, but I'm thinking maybe they're gonna start, mild and then eventually get more crazy. To which they did, but at the beginning, she said she really couldn't feel anything. Time went on, I want to say probably about 11-ish is when she started saying that you can really feel these contractions at this point. They're becoming more intense, they're becoming more frequent, but she's still holding off. And the original plan was to go with an epidural, and she decided that she wanted to wait as long as possible till that happened. So we end up waiting, and sure enough, it becomes more intense to where she's thinking, maybe having it now is probably a good thing. And the doctors were checking up on her and saying, yeah, we're noticing these contractions are getting a lot more intense. So we kind of had a talk, and we were just saying, obviously you're going to have to use a lot of strength and endurance during the actual delivery part. Maybe you don't want to be awake and fighting through this and using up your energy to prolong the use of the epidural, right? So maybe it's time to take it sooner. That way you can get some sleep, get some rest. That way when it's showtime, you've got the energy to push this guy out. So we figured that was a good strategy. And honestly, it couldn't have worked any better. She got the epidural. The pain was almost non-existent at that point, and she was able to relax and get some sleep. So it starts getting around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're like, it's not, you're not quite dilated. You got to give you some of the medicine that helps you, get the contractions up, get the ball rolling. And it all happened very sudden. It was like there was very minimal dilation, to then at 5 o'clock, it was like ready. We're really ready to go. They're like, man, you're already like 8, now you're at 10. We're in the hot zone. I'm starting to get a little sweaty. They keep asking me if I'm gonna pass out during this whole thing. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I'm gonna pass out. But I've never done this before, so I can't tell you how I'm gonna react, what I'm gonna be like. I told him, I don't think I'm gonna pass out, but I might pass out. Only because I don't know. I've never been through it. Just be ready. If I start looking funny, sit me down, drag me off to a corner somewhere, or I can regroup. Thank God that didn't happen. There was a few moments where things got a little wonky, but I think I was still good. 7 o'clock rolls around, and the doctor is in. He shows up, and he's ready to go. And I'm thinking there's this is it. I'm thinking there's like lead up. There's like more stuff to do. Okay, let's get, I always see like feet and stirrups and all these things. It wasn't like that at all. He was like, all right, let's start pushing. This is gonna happen right now. And she starts pushing, and he's got me with one arm under her one leg and the other one around her neck, kind of cradling her in this like cradle position. I'm supposed to be like hulking her in. When she's done pushing, my job is to then pop an oxygen mask on her face. So this happens over the course of 20 minutes. She's pushing, and I'm oxygening, and then she's pushing, and she doesn't look happy. This is starting to get intense. And then he goes and he puts on a mask, and he puts on a visor, and he's gloving up and everything. So I know in the next push or two, this thing's coming out. The other thing, there was this kind of an odd smell going on. I don't know if that happens for everybody, but that was one thing that stuck out in my memory, was that it wasn't like a bad smell. It was just a smell I'd never smelled before. And sure enough, after one push, this head pops out, and it's just a head. There's I'm thinking the whole thing just comes out. No, a head is out, and I couldn't help. I was told not to look. She told me not to look many, many times, but it's like a car accident. You just can't turn away, and when you see a head just pop out down there, by God, your eyes just divert to it, and then that's the thing. You're looking at a head. And it's all kind of weird looking and covered in God knows what. And I'm thinking, okay, one more push, and he's telling her, he's coaching her, and I'm not really coaching. I'm like in for the ride, taking instructions. I'm holding legs and heads, and I'm doing oxygen. Other than that, my mouth is f***ing shut. I'm not saying anything. So the final push, he's like, one more push, let's go, let's do this. Push, and like a wet sausage, this guy just slides on out. That was it. He's in the world at this point. They pick him right up and they put him in the arm. Well, it didn't quite go that quickly. Apparently, he did have some issue where there was umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck twice and then kind of slip knotted in. I don't know how anything that happens. He must have been doing a lot of moving and grooving in there, but he had to go in and cut that like really quickly as soon as the head popped out. I remember he came, cut that real quick, got that cleared away. Got him out, puts him on Mom, and he's crying and clearing all the crap out of his lungs and all the fluid and stuff. And this is where I start getting, I don't want to say dizzy, but a lot of rushing things happening, right? Like everything's happening fast. It's hard to focus on one thing. You got him doing his thing. It's a bloody mucusy mess on that end. You got the baby out here. He's with mom. We had some great friends of ours. Great friend Yvonne, who was with us, and I'm crying, she's crying. The whole thing is crazy. The only person not crying is mom, more tired than anything, and holding this guy. And I'm sure she had her own thoughts rushing through her head at the moment. It's certainly more of an ordeal on her end than it is my end. And yeah, he's out. He's born. The doctor says, do you want to cut the cord? And there's this weird white, it's kind of this white bloody thing, and you give it a couple of hacks with the scissors, and eventually it makes its way through. It's pretty damn tough cord. That's it. They leave. They clean him up, and you got your first night with your kid. And it's one of those things. It's you're happy he's out, but then you're worried constantly that you want to make sure he's okay, right? So you're always thinking like, oh, is that sound normal? Is this normal? Is he okay? You're waking up, he slept pretty good, but I'm waking up every like 5 minutes to, go check on the guy and to make sure that he's doing okay, make sure he's breathing. And the nurses, the doctors, the staff were fantastic. They kind of knew all about, of course they knew all about everything. They were fantastic, and they were able to get us up to speed on all the stuff that we needed to be up to speed about. And you're there for 24 hours afterwards, and that's it. You put them in the car seat, and you're on your own. So that's why I haven't made any videos in a little bit. We're just getting used to all that stuff, and now that we're kind of in a bit of a routine, things have calmed down. It's back to business.